it's all in the spirit of let's all make these things work, because a lot of startups actually start out and most of them fail. That's the way it is. Startups are actually really tough. Most of them fail, but with the right sort of mentoring, coaching, and direction, a lot of startups can pull themselves out of that spiral and actually succeed. So, great. So we're going to switch to a US-based company, and they use simple and snappy help desk software. Everybody put your hands together, please, for SupportBee. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening, Jakarta. This is our first time in Jakarta, and it's been lovely so far. So my name is Pratik, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of SupportBee. SupportBee is a simple help desk software that helps you deliver awesome email support. But before I talk more about SupportBee to you, I just want to share a little story about why we are doing SupportBee in the first place. So in 2007, my co-founder Nitya and I started a music sharing service for musicians called Musicoo. And one of the coolest things about Musicoo was that we went out and talked to a lot of our users. And we talked about our product. And when we could not meet them, we went and we talked to them over email. And with their feedback, we iterated on the product, and we grew to over 500,000 users. But with that came a new problem. Up until then, we were using Gmail to manage our customer support emails. And it's a great email solution, but it's not designed to collaborate on support tickets. And so we could not keep up with our support conversations. And that's when we started looking for the help desk softwares to manage our email. Unfortunately, everything that we found looked really complicated like this, and had workflows that might work for Fortune 500 companies, but were too complex for small teams like ours. They were also very complicated to get started with. And they sent really unfriendly emails to our customers. In fact, those emails looked like they had come from Agent Smith himself. And we didn't like that. And then we started talking to other businesses and realized that a lot of small and medium businesses face this problem. In fact, one of our beta users before signing up said that once he started trying one of the existing softwares, it took him several hours of sandboxing time, videos to just get started. So in 2011, we started working on an email ticketing software focused on small and medium business enterprises. And we built something with a very Gmail-like interface, as you can see, but with the right set of features to enable collaboration within a support team. So in SupportBee, you can answer to a support query yourself, or you can assign it to your team. Everything in SupportBee is updated in real time. So as your team members are acting on support tickets, you can see the support queue shrink in real time. We also have a sensible pricing model. Unlike our competitors that charge by the number of agents that you add to the system, we charge you based on the ticket volume. And therefore, we encourage you to involve everybody in your team in customer support, which is how small and medium businesses should work. And finally, we send friendly emails to your customers. We don't add any SupportBee branding or any extra information to your replies. We just let it be personal. And behind all this simplicity is a very powerful backend, which is easy to customize and extend using a well-thought-out API and webhooks. These are some of the companies that we've been working with in the last few months for public beta. There are about 50 companies that are using SupportBee right now. One of the companies, Drills and Cutters, found that even the most non-tech savvy employees found SupportBee extremely easy to use. Graph Concepts, an iPhone case manufacturer, thinks that SupportBee is the only software with the right balance of features and simplicity. Currently, we are charging a monthly subscription fees, but going forward, we want to launch an app platform and take a cut from the paid app revenues. That is our long-term goal. The team, other than me and my co-founder Nitya, we have Avinash and Anne who are working with us and coding on the system. And the cool thing about our team is it's entirely distributed. I live in Vietnam, Nitya lives in Chile, and Avinash lives in India, and Anne is in Vietnam. So if you have a company and you are interacting with your customers and you care about that interaction, please go ahead and try out SupportBee. We would love to hear your feedback. Thanks a lot.
So you weren't clear on your pricing and your revenue.
Not here.
And your presentation. I can understand.
Sure. So right now we're charging monthly subscription fees. So we have a free plan of about 100 emails a month, 100 tickets a month. But above that we charge $50 up to 1,000 tickets, about $149 for up to 5,000. So it's tiered pricing. and some monthly subscription fees.
So why doesn't someone just use Zendesk?
Why?
Why doesn't someone just use Zendesk? It's cheaper.
No, Zendesk is cheaper if you want to work with just like 1 or 2 agents, but as you add more people to your team, then it starts getting very expensive. And unfortunately, what happens is that typically when companies are smaller, they just add 1 person to the system and start routing emails outside of Zendesk to their developers and people who are not a core support team, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a support software.
But then, if your organization gets bigger, you probably want to own that knowledge of the support infrastructure. So then, companies right now, the trend is using open source support ticket software.
So if you look at bug tracking, for instance, like for development, then there are great solutions available. But if you look at open source ticketing systems, there are not that many great softwares available out there. And this is, this is a short-term and medium-term strategy. Long-term, we are still betting on the app platform because most of the times, for doing great customer support, you need to have a lot of information about the customer. And so then you need to talk to your CRM, your internal database, and a lot of tools. And if we were to write all those integrations, we would never be able to cater to everybody and end up with a very bloated software. So we want to have an app store like Shopify or Facebook, where you can go and add an integration and just customize your workflow. And on the other hand, once the platform starts taking off, developers can write those integrations and even make money off that.
Well, at my SQL, our revenue is on providing support.
Right.
And so we actually wrote our own support software.
Right.
We actually open source it.
Okay.
Anyone can pick it up and use it for free. It's just immediately installable and you get it done.
Right.
5 minutes.
Sure.
So what stops them from just installing that and having a whole email-based as well as web interface?
Because most people don't want to have the headache of installing stuff themselves and managing it. I mean, there will always be a lot of people who would choose open source, for instance, WordPress, but there will always be a market for Tumblr or, for WordPress VIP hosting because a lot of people don't want to go through the headache.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Switching gears back to Indonesia, please put your hands together for the guys from ProMoot, everybody. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Hadri and this is my partner, Bayu Raharjo. We are co-founder